I'll keep on my computer. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the contributors meeting. Today, I'm going to be your host. I'm Leo. And as usual, let me start by sharing my screen. Okay. And let me get the list of attendees. All right. And starting off with triage and discussion, for this week, we had Dan and Regina, but I don't see any of them in the call, unfortunately. So I guess what we can do is move forward, elect the next, the next candidates for doing triage next week, and if they join, we get back to this topic. Any volunteers for next week for primary? Okay, going back in the list, Samia, are you in the call? No. May is not there. John, not there.
Jonathan in the chat said that he can do primary. Jonathan West,
okay.
Red Hat.
Thanks, Jonathan. Are you in the list? Ah, yeah, you're the first. Well, thanks, Jonathan. And for secondary, any volunteers? I can be a secondary just to speed this up a bit. All right. Okay, so moving forward, we have a few topics for the day. Starting off with Michael's topic let me click the link. Michael, wanna mention about this?
Gotta take a second to remember what in the heck it was. A profile feature for agent, fixed loggers, panic. I probably added a comment at the bottom saying why I thought this was important. If I recall correctly, this was just like a long abandoned PR that I thought should be pretty easy to merge.
Okay.
Yeah, someone was trying to add the ability to just optionally open up a server and a port to look at profiling for GitOps engine. And like it seemed fine, but maybe something that we'd want to make part of a larger strategy to like make this available on things besides GitOps engine. I just wanted.
Yeah, I had feeling I haven't seen this PR, but should that be a part of a product that uses, like Argo CD has this set of endpoints available already, and basically the list of Go routines will, it's not related to a library. It just
yeah, Alex, I think in this case, what they're doing is enabling this profiling in the agent inside GitOps engine.
That's the CLI tool.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. I'm not 100% sure what the agent does and what is the usage of it.
Agent
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, agent is like it's the simplest possible consumer of engine. All it does is watch one repository and install it into the cluster where agent is running.
Oh, so we actually have a user.
Yeah.
So this person is using that agent and they want a profiling server.
It's related to the discussion we had last week about moving.
Yeah. See, we should not. I mean, can review that PR, I think, during that meeting, if it's that small, if it only enables the profiling, I think it's not, yeah. Thanks for bringing this up. I will review right now.
Yeah,
Cool,
it's
thank you.
mainly in the agent, the
Mhm.
change. There's something here that may be worth looking, but then the rest is documentation, basically.
Mhm. Makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Moving on, there were. Okay. So Alex EF, are you on the call?
Yes, I am. Can you
Okay.
can you hear me?
Ah, okay, there you are. Okay, yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Cool. I saw that you
Um,
added a few topics in the list. So I think you had added 3, but 1 was removed this morning.
Yes.
Starting off with the OCI Helm repo support. So let me click the link. Okay, wanna say a few words about this?
Yeah. So currently we support Helm in both the standard chart museum format over HTTP and in the OCI. But for OCI, we don't do version ranges, which means whatever you put as the target version is what gets resolved once, and then that's it. And then there are a bunch of places in the UI where you will just hit and get an error when you try to sync. With this PR, I'm trying to add support for version ranges by just calling the tags endpoint. So a regular Helm registry will have an index. OCI doesn't have and will not support an index. It will just be able to list tags. And then if these tags respect similar versioning, then they could just be used the same as the index. So we've been using it for a couple of weeks now. Just today, I realized I needed to add pagination, so I added it to the PR. Yeah, if you want to consider it, it will make a difference to us, and I see there are a few others hitting similar problems. OCI Helm is new, and yeah, it's supporting Helm landed only a couple months ago, but I think this would make a difference, as it will allow you to use OCI Helm the same way you use regular Helm.
Thank you. I remember, yeah, when we had that OCI support, I just couldn't find a way to resolve revision, and I tried to give semver expression, the range to Helm install itself, and it basically failed. So I just there was
back then, Helm didn't recognize it either when you did that.
I'm curious, how is it like? How is it that do you use basically talk to OCI registry directly, right?
Yeah, over HTTP calls. So I'm not using the Helm library, although in the Helm library, the same code or similar code is being used.
I'm
yeah.
curious. I guess I'm just asking. It's like beginning of a code review. Did they support any CLI? Maybe we can invoke some Helm CLI commands to expose, basically kind of trying to find a way to keep using Helm code to do that. I guess I'm asking, have you tried to look for a CLI command that gives list of versions or not?
No, I haven't. So what I did, I just adapted the code that was fetching the index to fetch tags instead, and then use tags, get a maximum tag out of them. So if Helm has a CLI, I can look into this. If
I think I guess it's
that would be a better approach.
It's easy to check. If not, then I guess that's the only way we have. Yeah, and
Yeah, it will be great to add a little bit of documentation as well. Alex, you described, but I didn't get exactly how users will be specifying the version.
Oh, this
Uh,
basically, I think maybe there is no documentation right now because we support SameWord for all type of I mean, for Git, for Helm registries, and only Helm OCI was exception. We just literally had a, you know, like in the very first file. Oh, so in the beginning of client.go, we just had a check if registry is OCI. We intentionally just not trying to resolve revision. We're just enforcing a specific version. Yeah, that's okay. Maybe I let Alex answer. Sorry, I took over.
No, yeah, it's exactly like this. So without this PR, whatever you specify is considered to be a fixed version. With this PR, Helm OCI will behave according to the documentation. And then in the docs, we say you can either pin a version, you can do version ranges, or you can put wildcard, which will always resolve to the latest and most recent stable version. It can also identify unstable versions and ignore them. So with this PR, OCI will just be supported the same as non-OCI is supported right now, according to the docs.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks for pushing this PR, and I think it's something we want to have in Argo CD. Any more comments regarding this? If
I think
not,
it's our tech dev, basically. We just took a shortcut because we didn't know how to build it. So I think it's not questionable. It basically it could be useful here.
cool, great. All right. What? Okay. Change to, sorry about that. Oh. Bad timing to get my token expired. Okay, I'm back. All right. So moving on. It is another one also from you, right, Alex? Which is this PR.
Yeah, this has less importance to us. It's mostly cosmetic. I realized with some of our services, we saw large lists of replica sets and analysis runs. They were all kind of expired, but the sorting was by name. So I sorted them by creation time, putting the most recent to the top. That's one part of the PR about table views and sorting them. And the other part was making the analysis run result more visible. So we store that result in the health object, and with this change we can display it in large form, like the icon and the message from the health, regardless of what resource we are trying to display details of. It's of less importance to us than OCI, but I thought I'll bring it up. Since we started contributing to Argo, I read the documentation. I understood what the process is. I should have opened first an enhancement idea, but yeah, I'm learning and doing it one by one.
Okay, thanks, Alex. I think, yeah, Remington added a comment here. There's some discussion going on. Is there any open topic you wanted to bring up, or you wanted to discuss with this group, or it's you think it's fine?
How is or where's the sort happening? Is it in the UI or is it in the backend?
This is in the UI.
Okay, and how do you have creation timestamp to be able to sort the information? Is that something with
It-
servers?
Yeah, we already get it from the backend. It was just not surfaced to the component that does the table view. So I made a change. I'm casting the object to the right type, and now I have it there because it was already in the response we got from the backend.
It is actually related to
I
it.
did some reverse engineering.
I maybe Remington, you may know the answer to this, but my concern is we're fetching resources one by one in order to get the resource metadata, and then to be sorted. It's the same kind of issue that we're about to talk about in the next topic.
Right. I don't believe that that's the case with this. So, Alex, or Alex E, do you know the answer to that? It's been a little while since I took a look at this. So Jesse's asking if it sounds like what you were saying is that metadata was already there and you don't have to perform any additional fetches to the API. But Jesse and I both want to make sure that we're not fetching each of these resources individually because as Jesse mentioned, we already have this happening and we need to go back and fix it now.
Yeah, to my understanding, I'm not doing any additional call. I'm just using what was already there.
Got it. Okay.
If that's the case, then I don't have any concerns.
Yeah, I will take another look at this today. I did not see your updates yet, Alex. So thank you for doing this.
Yeah, I
Thanks.
think you're right. I think this is I think this is not metadata created time. I think it's actually the sync order and the metadata we have in the sync operation. So okay, we can move on, I think.
Okay, thanks, Jesse. Sorry, your mic is it's a little bit quiet today. Okay, let's move on. Remington, you have one. Let me open it real quick. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, so this one's pretty straightforward. Jesse alluded to it just a minute ago, but basically we noticed that the resource list view for the application, so it's available on the, I think Jesse noticed it in 2.4, maybe 2.4.10 or 11. But if you go to the resource list view for an application, it takes quite a while to load, most notably if it's a large application with a lot of resources. And the reason for this is because we now, with the PR that I linked in this issue, we now make a call to the API for every resource. So there's a for loop in there that's calling the API to get this information, the sync wave, from the manifest, because that's the only place that it's available. So there are sort of two parts to this issue. One is that we need to revert this behavior, and two is we need to somehow surface this information more efficiently on the back end. I think that it will require some application controller changes, but I think we are going to have to need to roll back this PR or roll back this commit first, because it's going to be relatively significant chunk of work, we think.
I see. One thing, just to confirm, is this it was merged?
Yes.
Do you know
yes.
do you know which Argo CD version this is added to? Like 2.5 for sure?
I think it's 2.4.
2.4, but
To the 4 even? Okay.
But I don't think you notice it unless you go to the list view of a large application. But if you do have it, the list view is not usable because basically every, I don't want to say 20 to 30 seconds. I don't know why it keeps doing it, but it fetches the manifest of every managed resource in the application in order to get its annotation for the sync wave, and then so that it can sort it in the UI, so that you have this column to show like which order, so you can sort it in the UI to show how it would sync. But that is super expensive, and then the list view becomes unusable.
Instead of reverting the feature, can we just gate it behind like you don't get this column if you have more than 100 resources type thing? Or 10 or whatever?
I would be, yeah, I mean, I think if we could get behind the feature flag, I would think it would be fine. So that I think that's actually a good compromise. I do think a default behavior should not be this, because people will not know that it can be disabled. That's maybe a better way than just burning the whole feature.
But Jesse, just to clarify, the ideal state would still be to have this accomplished by the controller instead.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
I would argue, if we want this feature as a default feature, like we have to do a, I think it has to happen in the back end or the controller.
I agree. I think it won't require GitOps engine changes. It's just, application controller changes to add one more field in the CRD. In CRD, we store metadata of all managed resources. So one more field, I mean, the wave field, appropriate, yes.
Yeah. It would require controller changes, right?
It would require, yeah, but at least it would not be, changes in GitOps engine or anything. It would be minor changes in controller. I think, but number of those changes would be less than feature flag, I think. I mean, not less, but comparable. It's like, yeah.
Oh, so Alex, are you saying that it's such a simple change that it would be more effort that it's worth to do?
Yes, if I'm right, but what I'm so in application CRD we have a list of managed resources, and that list, every item includes, identifiers like group name, kind, blah blah blah, and then some metadata. And it, for example, it already has a Boolean field is hook. Basically, is it a hook or not hook? So the same thing, it's just yet another example. Like the sync wave can be.
Actually, yeah, that's probably. I agree. That's actually probably the best way forward is to
actually fix it.
Fix it. Yeah, then we don't have to gate the feature, and it will just be the performance will return.
What do you think about cherry picking it to that for like?
Yeah, I think that would be nice, because then people who don't upgrade to 2.5, I mean, yeah, people who don't upgrade to 2.5 will benefit from.
The difference is we will change CRD, like we will introduce optional field in CRD.
Oh,
that's the only.
Yeah, I don't consider it a patch by having that. Right? Not sure. I think I have mixed feelings about it.
It does make would it make the downgrade path problematic? So someone upgrades, start using the feature, the field is populated, and then they revert to the old CRD. Are things going to break?
No, I mean, things would keep working, but UI would try to load the same data by fetching resources directly. So basically, you upgrade to next patch, and then UI no longer make those calls, and controller start populating data in CRD. If you downgrade, I think you will just have that data. Actually, yeah, if you downgrade, actually, I don't know what happens if. No, never mind. I know. Yeah, basically, when we downgrade, next controller run is going to just kill sync wave information from CRD, and UI no longer expected to be there. Yeah, I don't see a problem. It will be.
I agree.
Just-
I think this this shouldn't cause any issues for downgrade. If
Yeah.
if the same fields are in 2.5 and 2.4.
But
Yeah.
someone having to apply the newer patch would have to also apply the new CRD,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
Otherwise, UI would be showing like empty fields. Oh wait, no. I mean, a controller would actually fail to update. Yeah, it will be a bit like if you fail to update CRD, then controller just stuck. It will
Yeah.
not be able to update any.
What if we revert this just in the 2.4 branch release and a patch release for that, fixing master and cherry picking 2.5?
I mean, I don't know. Okay, to me it looks acceptable because I don't think, one more column in UI was, like on a big application, the page became unusable. It's like taking seconds to load. As a user, I would prefer to not have sync waves column, but a responsible UI. So yeah, I like this proposal more actually. Just revert in 2.4 and have a patch, and then 2.5 have a fix.
Cool. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody. All right. And one last one by Dan, old issue cleanup. Dan.
Yeah,
mention
so
about it?
sorry I wasn't able to join in the very beginning to discuss the triage for the week. Just a little project that I've started, and if somebody wants me to stop, I'm happy to hear it. But I'm basically just going through all of the oldest, least commented, least active issues. We have 2,800 issues. Or no, not 2,800. We have 1,700 issues. So I'd like to just get that down. I've been just going through, and it's a lot of stuff that hasn't been updated in over 2 years. And some of them are like, hey, I want to have this feature for Helm 2. It's like, well, we're not doing that. We moved on. So I'm just going through and closing a lot of things. I'm marking them as rotten, and just removing all the very old stuff just to try to clean things up. So if anybody feels like I shouldn't be messing with stuff that hasn't been updated in 2 years, I don't know if you have some good argument for like why we want to keep those issues around. They're just available as closed and marked as rotten. So if we need to find them later, we can always look there. So yeah, unless anybody has any objections, I'll just keep working on that.
Please
I
do.
would think
my
a few of
opinion.
those, I was very appreciative.
I think we discussed in the past by the fact that we could enable a bot that would take all the labels with rotten and automatically close those issues.
I
But we
hate
didn't move
bots.
forward with that.
I
that
hate
again.
bots. I go onto big repos, and everything you do ends up with 3 different bots shouting at you. I
Yeah.
don't mind the big number of issues, because like it's just a number, but it is nice to clean up. I just don't like it when bots do it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, most of the stuff I'm cleaning up hasn't been updated in over 2 years, so it feels pretty safe to go through and mark it rotten and close it. I'm looking at them individually to see if like, oh, this was actually solved an issue 2 years ago or whatever, if it's easy for me to find. Otherwise it's like, sounds like it's still not an issue. So that way, if people do find it, they can at least see that it's been addressed if it's been addressed. So I'll just go through and keep doing it. But
Just
if I
make sure
close
I understand.
issue from 2.5 years ago, feel free to reopen it.
So you're not just going to add a label, but you're also going to close. Is that right, Dan?
That's right. I've been adding labels and closing. I probably
Okay.
closed 40 issues this last week.
Okay.
Like that.
Sounds good to me. Thank
That's
you.
it.
And for the triage, Dan, you had anything to say about it, or I kept it for the end.
I didn't notice anything. I marked a few things, like there were some people saying, I marked a few things for Hacktoberfest. If people wanted to work on them, and that was the main thing, was just marking some things as, hey, this would probably be a good first issue. This would be a good one for Hacktoberfest. If people wanted to take it. So no, nothing notable beyond that.
Cool. Thanks a lot. Yeah, that wraps up the topics we had planned for today. Any last minute topics someone wants to bring up? Okay, if not, I'll give you back those few minutes, and see you all next week. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.